Welcome to my views on news. Viewers, in this video, we'll have a look at what is happening in the Oromia region of Ethiopia, where Oromo Liberation Army (OLA) armed group operating in the region a few hours ago announced the launching of a non-violent social movement. Anti-government movement. What did OLA say? Though almost 4 to 5 days ago, we reported that an anti-government movement was in the making in Oromia region. But question was who was going to lead the movement? Now it seems that Oromo Liberation Army is emerging as the one who will lead this movement, though the movement is non-violent, social movement. OLA is armed. Several questions. What did Oromo Liberation Army say? Before that, before this statement of OLA, since yesterday, it is being reported by some activists, some news outlets, that a high-level committee has been constituted by Ethiopian federal government to tackle the issues of Oromia region. Issues related to Oromo Liberation Army, related to ethnic violence in Valaga, related to protests at educational institutions. Now, the constitution of this four-member committee indicates that majority of members of this committee is not from the Oromia region. Four-member committee reportedly. Firstly, Tamasgan Terone is the member. He is Ethiopian Intelligence Agency chief. Secondly, Aganeho Tishagar, who is Speaker of Ethiopian House of Federation, former Amhara regional president and serving Speaker of Ethiopian House of Federation. Aganeho Tishagar is second member of this committee. Thirdly, Adam Farah. Adam Farah is from the Somali region of Ethiopia. He is vice chairman of a prosperity party. Prosperity Party has one chairman, PM Abiy. It has two deputy chairmen, and those are Adam Farah from Somali region, and second one is Damake Mekonnen, who is from the Amhara region of Ethiopia. Fourthly, Tagase Kafa. I think he is from Oromia. So, four-member committee will make decisions how to resolve the crises in the Oromia region of Ethiopia. But it has been criticized by groups and people in the Oromia region. They say that the committee has representation of those people who are not from Oromia region. So committee formed, and meanwhile, we have not seen any official announcement by the government so far to intensify a military operation against OLA or to explore diplomatic avenues to resolve the crisis with OLA and in Valaga. There is silence. Maybe deliberations are underway or decisions have been made, but they're not being made public. Oromo Liberation Army a few hours ago announced the start of a movement. Name of the movement is Save Oromia Movement. In a Fan Oromo language, it is called Oromia Barraro. Oromia Barraro movement has been launched. OLA claims it is a non-violent social movement. And Oromo Liberation Army claims that training centers of Fano militia have been set up in Western Oromia, where Fano fighters are being trained and deployed. Secondly, Oromo Liberation Army claims that minority civilians in Western Oromia in Vailaga are being armed. That is what we have been discussing in previous videos, that ethnic Amharas are being armed in Vailaga. And this is one of the main reasons of recent conflicts between armed factions in Vailaga in parts of Oromia on Oromia-Amhara border. OLA is accusing the government of launching communal violence, that it is government-backed violence which was seen in Vailaga. Government on the one hand is hitting Oromo people through drone strikes, air strikes, ground offensives. On the other hand, it is backing, it is fueling ethnic tensions, ethnic violence in Vailaga. This is OLA's claim. And in this statement, OLA did not say a word about Oromia regional forces or Oromia special forces. OLA claims that three main forces are part of dual war on Oromos. The three forces are Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara Special Force, and Amhara Fano militia members. They have launched a joint campaign against Oromo people, and OLA through this statement urged all groups in Oromia to play their part in backing, in supporting Save Oromia movement. For example, OLA wants artists to make songs, another artwork to support this movement. It wants traders to provide logistical, financial support to this movement. And at the end, Oromo Liberation Army said it is ready for talks as well, but not through abagadas who don't have influence, who are pro-government. But it wants internationally mandated mediation with some neutral states involved in mediation, and with the mediators and negotiators talking away from conflict areas in some third state maybe. So it's very clear now that Oromo Liberation Army is behind the new student movement, the recent protests. Though we saw statements from Jawar, from Baklegarba, Oromo Federalist Congress also spoke, Oromo Liberation Front issued statements too, but no one announced the start of a movement. No one named the movement. So OLA is naming the movement, Save Oromia movement, named by OLA, Oromia Bararo. It means the movement is being launched by Oromo Liberation Army. OLA wants to mobilize the people of Oromia. It is already mobilizing the people of Oromia, but it is recruiting the people of Oromia for its armed campaign. Now it wants a social movement, non-violent protest movement against the government. And the target is PM Abiy's government and Amhara political elite. Naftania is the word used in the statement by OLA, which is used for, I think, some Amhara political elite, or some say it is used for people who are part of the government. So, movement is not against Oromia region-based Oromo groups or parties. It is basically against Amhara Prosperity Party and Addis Ababa government. That is what seems to be the case after reading OLA's statement. Question is, OLA is armed faction. It is operating in forests. Who will lead this movement? Because non-violent street movement needs leadership as well. Though OLA is asking the people to organize themselves, they should protect other ethnic group members, but they should defend themselves. They should try to organize themselves. But question is, who will organize the people? OLA cannot do that. OLA cannot be in public. They have to be armed, they have to be in hiding. For a social movement, anti-government, protest movement, you need leaders on the ground. And can people be mobilized, organized? Will government allow it to happen? Obviously, government will not allow the start of any street movement. Jawar already fled Ethiopia. Bakale Garba did not return to Ethiopia. Why? Because he was delivered a message that if he returned, he would be arrested. So top leadership, which has some following in Oromia, is out of Oromia. And Jalmaro cannot lead this movement from the front. He can lead his fighters on the front, not this movement. Such movements need public mobilization. So let's see what happens. But the statement is very clear that behind recent protests in the Oromia region, there was Oromo Liberation Army, which has been trying to launch a movement in Oromia region. There is political vacuum in Ethiopia, in Oromia. I have been saying that opposition parties should unite to form a joint front against the government. It's not undemocratic, and it is opposition parties' right to continue their democratic struggle against the government. This struggle is missing. Opposition is missing. There is vacuum, political vacuum. This vacuum is being filled by Oromo Liberation Army, not through armed resistance, but through now political resistance as well, it seems. OLA wants to start a political, social, anti-government protest movement. But several questions. I have doubts about the capability of OLA to start such a movement, because this movement needs leaders on the ground to lead people, to organize people. Thank you for watching.